This is KGW News at Sunrise.
I can't imagine being in my house and thinking that I'm safe and the next minute you're gone.
Yeah, a really scary situation and jarring for people living near that intersection in Vancouver, where two separate car crashes happened last night, one of which went into a home, killing a woman who lived there, as well as a family pet.
Also happening today, Governor Tina Kotek is expected to make pumping your own gas a reality in Oregon, with plans to sign the state's new self-serve gas bill into law. We'll have a live report on what the change means for drivers and gas station attendants later this hour.
And we're taking a step outside. Live look right there on your screen of Portland's living room. Of course, we're talking about Pioneer Courthouse Square. A lot going on there this weekend, including two cultural festivals that we're featuring this morning on Sunrise. More details about the Chinese and India festivals coming up at 5:15.
Yeah, one of those on Saturday, the other on Sunday, but let's get through Friday first, shall we? Friday edition of Sunrise. Brenda's off, Rodney's off. Chris is handling weather and traffic for you.
And we've got good weather for all of those festivals and whatever festivities you've got planned for this weekend for the most part. Check out that. That's the live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera right now. A little broken cloud cover to the south. It's mild. It's 65 degrees last check at PDX. I point out the broken cloud cover because we actually have some sprinkles showing up down towards Lynn and Benton counties. We got a little wider over the last couple of hours. We had some thunderstorms down in the southern Willamette Valley and getting down towards the Rogue Valley overnight. Those are dissipating, but you see showers east of the Cascades as well. So I don't think the rain gets here, but the debris clouds from those may filter our sunshine for the first part of our day today. So partly cloudy now. We'll go hazy and warm this afternoon. We were 89 yesterday, so pretty good bet we're back in that territory again this afternoon. Let's get you out the door. Quick look at the roads this morning. That is I-205 over the Glen Jackson Bridge in pretty good shape there. Getting out of Clark County, I-5 near Wilsonville in good shape as well. But I do want to point out, guys, ODOT reported just a couple of minutes ago some literally animals on the road, maybe some livestock on I-5 south of the Wilsonville area near Highway 551. We'll keep you posted on that, but for the most part, the drive is off to a pretty good start.
All right, more weather and traffic from Chris here in a few minutes, but right now, our top story this half hour. Former President Donald Trump back in New Jersey this morning after appearing in federal court in Washington, D.C. on Thursday to face charges that he tried to overturn the 2020 election. The former president pleaded not guilty to 4 felony counts that carry with them a maximum of 55 years in prison. His arraignment was held just down the street from the U.S. Capitol, the site of the January 6th insurrection. And his next hearing in this case is just over 3 weeks away on August 28th, which is also 5 days after the first Republican primary debate for the 2024 election. NBC News reports that the former president is likely to skip that debate. Political analyst Chuck Todd explains that as the Republican Party's frontrunner, Trump likely sees this month's first debate as an opportunity to lose more support than he could gain.
George W. Bush was the frontrunner in 2000. He didn't go to the first couple of debates. Frontrunners, a lot of times when you're the frontrunner, you don't have to. It's quite common. It would be, I think, odd if he did attend the first or second debate. I don't expect him in a debate until closer to November or December.
The Today Show will have much more on this starting at 7 o'clock this morning, including why any debate that the former president attends might conflict with legal orders to avoid discussing parts of the 2020 election with witnesses in his legal case, like fellow presidential hopeful and former VP Mike Pence.
In that very same Washington, D.C. federal courthouse, a judge sentenced a battleground man to prison for his role in the January 6th riot. Jeff Grace faces 75 days in prison for entering the Capitol building without permission. A judge sentenced his son to 21 days in jail last year. The duo caught on camera. The 64-year-old admitted he and his son, Jeremy Grace, went to Washington, D.C. in January of 2021 to attend a rally in support of then-President Donald Trump. Federal agents say both men tried to delete the selfie-style videos that they took that day.
Advocates are calling for an investigation into Multnomah County jails after another inmate death, the 8th in the last 12 months. The sheriff's office says 36-year-old Clemente Pineda was found unresponsive in his cell on Tuesday. Efforts were made to save his life, but he was eventually pronounced dead. And that's how most of the 8 in-custody deaths have been reported. First found unresponsive, then pronounced dead. These are the names here on your screen of the death investigations that are still pending at this point while they wait for a toxicology report. 2 deaths were found to be of natural causes. 2 others were suicides.
I think first and foremost, when individuals are in custodial settings like this, highly supervised settings, it should be extremely rare for individuals to be dying in custody.
This week, the Sheriff's Office requested an assessment of their facilities and operations by the National Institute of Corrections.
Well, there is now a Clark County connection to a man accused of kidnapping a Seattle woman and locking her in a makeshift cinder block cell at his home in Klamath Falls. That woman, by the way, broke down the door and escaped. Hours later, 29-year-old Nagasi Zuberi was arrested in Nevada. So it turns out Zuberi lived in Clark County for almost a year, from last summer to this past spring. Here's one of his old neighbors.
He did make some threats towards me that he was going to stab me or kill me if he catches me outside somewhere.
Since then, detectives say they've tied Zuberi to 3 more sexual assaults in other states and fear there could be more. Zuberi also allegedly attacked, abused, and threatened to kill a woman in California, as well as their 2 children. That's according to a protective order filed 3 years ago. But it's unclear whether the restraining order was ever issued or if that case was dropped.
In a terribly sad story this morning, a woman and her pet both lost their life last night after a car crashed into their home in Vancouver. It was one of 2 accidents at the same intersection last night. KGW's Catherine Cook has more.
First responders surround the house at 4th Plain Boulevard and Fruit Valley Road in Vancouver Thursday night. A closer look shows where a red car broke through the fence and crashed into the home. Vancouver police say a woman inside the home and a family pet were killed. 2 other people who live here are now displaced. Katrina Homola lives a block away.
I think it's absolutely crazy. Like, I can't imagine being in my house and thinking that I'm safe, having dinner or whatever, and the next minute you're gone.
Medics took the driver of the red car to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say impairment and speed were both factors in the crash. A short time later, witnesses described a second unrelated crash in the same intersection.
This white Honda CR-V that was coming down pretty fast and just blew through all of the police cars, through the caution tape. It sounded like he clipped the end of the fire truck that was parked in front of this house.
Haley Dale says she watched as police helped the driver out of the car.
He was kind of stumbling around a little bit.
And drove him away in handcuffs. For everyone here, it's a lot.
It just breaks my heart for the family.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Happening today, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek is expected to sign a pump your own gas bill into law today. There's a lot to it, but essentially it gives drivers the option of self-serve gas. Individual stations can decide whether to let people pump their own gas. If they don't want to, they don't have to. Some rural counties may allow self-serve around the clock. But even self-serve stations will have attendants to help if needed. Our Devin Haskins will break it all down coming up at 5:30.
Right now, it is time for Chris McGinnis to break down our weekend weather forecast. Where are you starting, Chris?
Mostly dry, although, as Rod pointed out yesterday, there was the possibility that we could see some valley showers this morning. Well, check it out. Radar indicating some valley showers this morning down in the... Rod was right. Rod, good call. As always, we'll take you down to the central and southern Willamette Valley. This is down in Lynn and Benton counties. We've got some sprinkles down there. And as we go out over the last 3 hours, we actually had some reasonable thunderstorm activity in southwestern Oregon down near the Medford area. That's what the lightning strike data here is showing. Those storms are fizzling. They're probably not going to get much farther north, but down in Marion County, be on the lookout. It's not out of the question we get a sprinkle working its way your direction. We do have some very light rain showers across portions of Deschutes and Jefferson County this morning, and working their way into eastern Lynn County as well, maybe eastern Marion County up through the Oregon Cascades. Again, these are very, very weak. Not a lot of rain with them this morning, but the cloud cover will likely intrude on parts of the viewing area this morning. The bigger concern as we go east of the Cascades is that the lightning potential is significant later today. And so for that reason, a big area east of the Cascades is under a red flag warning for the potential of fire starts with lightning, right? And I want to show you a futurecast. Our modeling really doesn't even pick up on those sprinkles this morning, which is why I think maybe the cloud cover is a bit underdone here in Portland, at least for the first part of the day. That said, I think we're pretty good bet that we're dry here from Salem and points north through the day today. But as I roll the clock on Futurecast, watch that we see thunderstorm development east of the Cascades. In fact, check out that big bullseye right there in Deschutes County. So with that, and the potential for lightning, that's obviously a significant concern along and east of the Cascades. This morning, we've got partly cloudy conditions at PDX. It's 65 right now at the airport. We're 59 in Hillsborough and Tigard and Sherwood. And as we slip south towards Salem, it's 60 in Salem and Kaiser. So a mild start to our morning for sure. Futurecast has temperatures inching into the upper 80s to maybe the low 90s. And I say maybe because, again, the cloud cover I think is a bit underdone on our modeling, but that's splitting hairs. It's going to be a warm day today. You can also see that bullseye of cooling there over Deschutes County. So the modeling is very steadfast on thunderstorm development in central and eastern Oregon today. All right, 90 for Saturday, I think. Probably 90 for Sunday as well. And as we check out the 7-day forecast, it's a toasty couple of days here. Normal high again for early August is 85. So we're running a bit above average in that department. One thing we are watching is the possibility of some showers rolling into most of the region on Wednesday as a cool front presses through the Pacific Northwest. We'll hope we get that, because if not, there's no sign of rain beyond that. And in fact, getting way out into the extended forecast, you may be looking at your iPhone weather app saying day 10, it's ridiculously hot. That's showing up in a lot of our models. That's obviously to be determined and way out there. But the short term is a warm forecast for the next couple of days, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you for that update.